Cedarwood Luxury, Nigeria's first real estate review.
Knowing what you want out of life and then going all the way to getting it is one way of ensuring you have peace of mind. Yeah, everybody needs a land that has C of O. Everybody wants C of O. Everybody wants to acquire a land with C of O. But do you really know what certificate of occupancy means? I will tell you what it means. Maybe that would have been delaying you from acquiring a plot of land with us. Now, let me tell you the importance of having a land with title C of O. Proof of ownership, resale value, access to loans, ease of transfer, and development opportunities. Did you also know that P1 Plus Business Consign Limited has 5 estates in East Nile with the amazing title C of O? Amazing, right? You don't know, now you know. We have Feature Time by Cedarwood, Lagos State. We have Tribe City by Cedarwood, Lagos State. We have Cedarwood Luxury Apartment and Terraces at Jiabata, Lagos State. We have Cedarwood Luxury Apartment and Terraces at Sabadeta State. And then Billionaire Lakeview by Cedarwood, Idowash, Delta State. Billionaire Lakeview by Cedarwood is actually going for the early bird price of 12.5 million. But you know that price increase taking effect and it will no longer be 12.5 naira, it will be going for the price of 15.5 million naira.
If I were you,
I will jump on this and grab for myself a plot of land at Billionaire Lakeview by Cedarwood. Do this today and enjoy absolute peace.
If you missed the early bird discount window for Billionaire's Garden City by Cedarwood, well, you have another opportunity to subscribe again at 2.5 million naira, but this time to Billionaire's Garden City by Cedarwood Phase 2. Same neighborhood, because Billionaire's Garden City by Cedarwood shares a common boundary with Billionaire's Garden City by Cedarwood Phase 2. There isn't anything much to miss, except of course the different levels of infrastructural development. But Billionaire's Garden City by Cedarwood Phase 2 is located here at Ibuzo, in the amazing city of Asaba. You also get to enjoy an amazing view, and of course Billionaire's Garden City by Cedarwood Phase 2 also has a registered survey and a deed of assignment, and also promises of even improved estate amenities.
Information, they say, is key. And by key, do well to join us every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4 p.m. live on Facebook and on YouTube. We are Cedarwood Luxury Online Radio, Nigeria's first real estate radio.
All right, beautiful morning, Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to a beautiful week. Welcome to a beautiful, beautiful day. It's Monday, the 28th day in the month of October 2024. Trust you had a wonderful weekend and hope your Monday morning is going fine as planned. Welcome to another edition of Table Talk, where we bring you abreast of happenings around the world, locally and internationally. It is such a delight to come your way this beautiful Monday morning, and to God be the glory for the gift of life, His grace and mercy. Thank you very much to every one of you that has been a part of us from the very onset up to this moment. You are the reason why we come your way Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4 p.m. Do well to be part of us this beautiful Monday morning. You can take advantage of the comment section either live on Facebook or YouTube. The WhatsApp number is also made available, 09133833507, as we present various stories to you this morning. Feel free to contribute to any of them, any of the stories that is of interest to you as we present them to you this morning. Feel free to express your opinions, your thoughts. Highly welcome. Yes, this morning on Table Talk, we'll begin as usual with a summary of what Nigerian newspapers are talking about, and we'll also present to you big stories being reported. Should I say big stories reported from the Punch newspapers? Quickly, a summary of what Nigerian newspapers are talking about is what is upon us at this moment. Do not forget to like, to comment, and to share. It is nice meeting you if you're meeting me for the first time. My name is D to the A to the I to the V to the D. I'm not sure I pronounced or spelled it well, but my name is David irrespective. Immediately we are done with a summary of what Nigerian newspapers are talking about, and also a few stories, big headlines making the rounds. Would go into acknowledging those whose birthday is today, and then those who had their birthday yesterday. As it is our habit, we've taken it upon ourselves to celebrate those that are worth celebrating, which includes our beloved clients and PBOs. And also you have the opportunity to celebrate every and anyone on this platform as well. Just do well to reach out to us, and we would help to join you in also celebrating who you wish and would love to celebrate. Quickly, a summary of what Nigerian newspapers are talking about. If you've missed any of the news review from the early hours of today, you can bank on us. You can count on us to keep you abreast, to give you updates of all the happenings as much as we can as far as news is concerned. So this morning we'll begin, like I said, with a summary of what Nigerian newspapers are talking about. Reading from Daily Post, the very first one we have here says, the Joint Action Committee of the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities have vowed to indefinitely shut down all activities in university across the country from Monday, which is today. The very second here says the Nigerian Labour Congress on Sunday slammed the International Monetary Fund for its denial of responsibility regarding the Nigerian government's recent removal of subsidy on petrol. The Congress described the denial as cynical and emblematic, that one a big grammar, of the IMF and World Bank's long-standing pattern of imposing harsh economic policies on developing nations. Quickly, number 3, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency on Sunday said They turned down a 10 million naira bribe offered to free one drug suspect, Solaye Eburo Jolo. Okay, Ebura Jolo, arrested earlier in Lagos. This was the operatives recovered. This was as the operatives recovered 26,250,000 pieces of tramadol, as well as 508,400 bottles of codeine-based syrup worth 16,683,800,000 naira in street value. Wow. Yo, that's massive. Somebody said that's massive. Kudos to the Drug Law Enforcement Agency for this beautiful, beautiful move. Turn down 10 million naira bribe. That's really amazing. All right, quickly, number 4, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Kayamo, on Sunday said the aviation industry has a high mortality rate, which caused the demise of over 100 airlines in the last 40 years. The minister, however, promised that the current administration would end the incessant deaths of airlines. Number 5, Mr. Peter Obi on Sunday said the continued power outage in many parts of the country, particularly in the northern and eastern states, as well as south states, is a case of grievous concern. In a series of tweets in his X handle, he said, "It is heartbreaking to see that the affected states, majorly in the north, have been facing a total blackout." Speaker number 6 of the Borno State House of Assembly, Honorable Abdul Karim Lawal, has said the life of Vice President Kashim Shettima is at risk as a result of the faulty presidential aircraft he uses to represent President Bola Tinubu in official engagements across the globe. He demanded a new aircraft for the VP. I knew that was where this was going to. So we now have another excuse to buy new aircraft. But I saw something which is part of what we're going to talk about this morning. Let me just leave it. I'm going to refer, when I get to that point, I'm going to refer back to this very one I just read now. Let's continue. Dangote Cement PLC said at the weekend that it has made significant investments exceeding $280 million in compressed natural gas (CNG) technology and infrastructure. According to the firm, the investments, which have made it the operator of the largest fleet of CNG trucks, is in line with the drive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for use of cheaper and cleaner energy by Nigerians. Number 8, the presidency on Sunday waived off the T-Pain Monica directed at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, describing it as mischief-driven and a non-issue. Special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, who defended his principle, insisted that Nigeria is a steady path toward recovery and growth. Number 9, quickly, the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, has said it is deploying a remotely operated vehicle, ROV, to locate the wreckage of Sikosi 76C, which detached into the Atlantic Ocean in the Bonny area of Rivers State last week. Okay, that's Sikorsky. All right, Sikorsky 76C, which detached into the Atlantic Ocean in the Bonny area of River State last week. The agency said The deployment would enable it to salvage vital components of the chopper, including the cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder. And lastly, an Anglican priest identified as Ven David Arize Ajalfobi, who is said to be the Archdeacon of Oyi Central Archdeaconry and Vicar of St. James Parish, Alkuzu, has been kidnapped. It was gathered on Sunday that the cleric was kidnapped by unidentified individuals on Saturday night. And that's a summary of what Nigerian newspapers are talking about. We quickly move to the Punch newspaper as we present to you today's biggest headlines from the Punch newspaper. The very first one here says, again, varsities face lockdown as workers begin strike today. FG plans tax overhaul to access 750 million World Bank loan. Army begins enlisting ex-soldiers to bridge manpower shortfall. EFCC to track funds as LG autonomy begins in November. NSCDC arrests illegal Chinese miners in Nasarawa. Helicopter crash. Family demands body of missing NNPCL worker. Lagos investigates engineer deaths as construction sites. CNG Dangote invests $280 million in conversion orders. And then number 9, Ondo Post states won't tamper with LG funds. Aidatiwa tells Waters. Ballon d'Or special being only African, says Lukman. Ballon d'Or special being only African, says Lukman. And that's the biggest stories today being reported on the Punch newspaper. And this is the point we segue to stories we've selected for discourse this morning. Remember, you can be part of the conversation either live on Facebook or YouTube via the comment section. You can also choose to reach out to us via our WhatsApp number. The numbers are right here on the screen. You can send in a voice note, send in a WhatsApp call, put a WhatsApp call through. You can send in a message expressing your opinions, talking about what we are talking about, any of the stories that is of interest to you this morning. We'll begin with the very first one from Al Jazeera, Iran's missile attack against Israel, what we know and what comes next. Just a brief from there. Iran has launched an unprecedented attack against Israel, firing a barrage of missiles at the country in the latest escalation amid weeks of soaring violence and tensions in the region. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said on Tuesday that it fired missiles at Israel in response to deadly Israeli attacks against people in Gaza and Lebanon, as well as assassinations of top IRGC, Hamas, and Hezbollah leaders. Alarms sounded in Israel on Tuesday evening as the missiles fell on major cities and towns. Let's quickly take a listen at this audio from this very event.
Some consequences, and we will work in a timely.
This is the Israeli military spokesman, I'm told, Daniel Hagari. Let's listen in.
Some consequences, and we will work in a timely manner. I will stay here during this evening in order to inform you and keep you updated. Continue to act responsibly. Question: do you expect any additional airstrikes? As I said, I always come and talk to you after assessing the situation with the cabinet and with partners in the United States. Currently, we don't see any further threats in our airspace. That's why we have instructed that you can leave the shelters, and we will continue to monitor the situation closely. If there are any updates, we will keep you informed, and I will be here all the evening. Question: is the army going to respond or retaliate? As I said, we are fully prepared to defend and to retaliate, and we are currently assessing the situation, and we will respond or retaliate in a timely manner. Question: do you think we are in a regional war? We are taking a war at different fronts, and this is not the first time that we are being attacked by Iran. This airstrike was wide. They have launched a lot of missiles in different places. Those missiles have landed but did not cause any injuries. Thanks to your responsible behavior and for respecting the instructions and guidelines, and also with the help of our partners as they continue to protect our citizens, we will continue to act in the same manner. Question: is the army ready to respond and retaliate immediately? We are fully prepared, and we are conducting attacks in different fronts. This is very serious, and there will be a retaliation when in a timely manner. I will get back to you and keep you informed. Please, I call on the citizens to continue to act responsibly. Your behavior has been honorable, so continue to do so.
Okay, you've been listening to the Israeli military spokesman, Daniel Hagari. So a couple things he said there. He was asked the question, do you expect more airstrikes? And he said, currently, we do not see further threats, and you can leave the shelters. So that's the clearest indication there is, really, that Israel feels Iran's attack is not over. Let me cross now to Al Jazeera's Hamda Salhout, who's in Jordan's capital, Amman, because Israel has shut down Al Jazeera's bureau inside Israel. Hamda, first of all, were you able to hear that from Hagari? Because we just grabbed it live. I don't want to ask you questions about something you haven't heard.
Yes, sir. I was listening in.
Okay, so you may have caught the earlier moments of it. Maybe we missed something. What did he say?
Well, the Israeli army spokesperson is saying that there aren't really injuries, but medical authorities have reported at least 2 people who are quite injured from shrapnel. We have received videos from the scene of an interception. When it happens in the sky, the shrapnel rains down, and the barrels from these missiles that were launched from Iran are quite large. So they have struck a couple of people, but it's still unclear where exactly those injuries took place. But at this time, the army is saying that they're not expecting more attacks from Iran. But it's worth mentioning that earlier in the day, when the Israelis had this intelligence that Iran was going to attack soon, they said they were not detecting anything, that Israeli Air Force jets were patrolling the skies all over the Middle East and did not detect anything, but nonetheless that Israel is going to respond. This is something the Israelis have been saying for some time, that any sort of attack from any which direction, whether it be Iran, Yemen, Gaza, Lebanon, Iraq, that there will be a response. And we have seen a lot of Israeli attacks in several places throughout the Middle East when certain groups or countries do launch attacks into Israel. So the army is saying at this time that the home front command guidelines have changed, meaning that people can leave shelters and that the incident is over.
Hamda, in terms of targets being struck, I don't know if they've collected, because I did hear Hagari say we're still assessing. What information do you have on the targets that were or were not struck in Tel Aviv or even elsewhere in Israel?
Well, it's still unclear at this time as Israelis are trying to gather information, because this is an attack that went all across Israel and even the occupied Palestinian territories. I mean, these rockets were even seen in the skies of Gaza. But it's important to note that according to American intelligence that was given to the Israelis, and these officials spoke anonymously earlier in the day, they said that there were 3 specific targets, 2 military bases and an intelligence headquarters in the central part of the country. It's unclear if they've been hit, but the Israelis had said that that intelligence headquarters had been evacuated in preparation. But it is worth mentioning that it's unclear what directly was hit, but when these interceptions happen, again, the shrapnel that falls from them will hit anything in their path. So Israel is still trying to assess the damage, of course, of what's going on, but it's still much of a cluster and chaos in Tel Aviv because authorities were responding to a shooting where at least 8 people were killed in the center of the city, in Jaffa, actually. So there is a lot ongoing. There is a lot for Israeli authorities to assess at this point.
Okay, Hamda Salhoud, thank you very much. We'll be speaking to you a lot.
All right, that's an update from that region. It's really, really well for me personally. I just look forward to a better situation. And there's a lot I want to say, but time will not permit me. Well, let's move on quickly. All right, bringing it back home from the Punch newspaper, we have again, universities face lockdown as workers begin strike today. The Joint Action Committee of the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities have vowed to indefinitely shut down all activities in universities across the country from Monday today when they embark on an indefinite strike. A statement made available to the Punch on Sunday and signed by National President Sanu Mohammed Ibrahim, General Secretary NASU Prince Peters Adeyemi, said the ultimatum it gave the federal government over its withheld salaries expired Sunday midnight. The unions are demanding, among others, the payment of the 4-month withheld salaries, improved remuneration and allowances, and implementation of the 2009 agreement with the government. My question for the federal government is, have there been any time that your salary was withheld for more than a month? Number one. I mean, we've not seen House of Assembly members of the House of Assembly, rep members. We've not seen politicians. We've not seen governors. We've not seen local government chairmen, people holding one or two, several political positions. We've not seen them go on strike, but we've seen doctors go on strike. We've seen lecturers go on strike. We've seen universities go on strike. We've seen, various other institutions go on strike. Is this not a high level of misplacement of priority? We don't prioritize things that we ought. Our politicians don't prioritize things that they ought to prioritize. Remember somebody when I was talking about, when I was presenting a summary of what the Nigerian newspapers are talking about, somebody is trying to justify justify the reason for a new presidential aircraft. We'll get there. What is your opinion on these? Let's talk about it immediately, quickly. All right, still on the Punch, tight grip. Governors devise new strategies to keep LGs under control. I hope this works at the end of the day. Let it not just be a newspaper thing. Let it not just be something that we hear. It should not be what I will call audio money. You know what they call audio money? I will give you 50 billion audio money. So I just hope this is not just going to be a newspaper shenanigans. Somebody say shenanigans. All right. So yeah, I just hope it's not going to just end here. It's not just going to end in the books and all that. It's going to be implemented and carried out. Because you see, when it comes to development, forget the president, forget the governor. It begins from the grassroots. If every local government chairman, if every local government personnel or whatever they are called, everyone in the grassroots level, if everyone is doing their jobs, we are not going to have streets littered. We are not going to have bad roads. We are not going to have, because every one of these young men, you can imagine the local government chairman for a Limosho, for instance, living in Lekki, my brother, what is your problem? Imagine a local government chairman in Etiosa living in Banana Island. It is not so. It is not so. It ought not to be so. So if government at the grassroots level is being checked properly, held responsible, their jobs, their whatever, they are doing what they ought to do, it begins from the street. Charity, they say, begins at home. It begins from the house, down to the street, down to the main roads, and then you see that the society is affected. But we are waiting for the governor to come and do this. Meanwhile, people who have been assigned to ensure that these things are being carried out, the streets are being tarred, the gutters, the drainage system, the primary health care, the water system, those little things are working, are functioning the way they ought to. Those people are either embezzling the money, either being redundant, not. They only come around when they want your votes. You only see then you will see one local government chairman, one councillor will just come and grade one street, put one street light, and then just do something just because he wants your vote. But if we begin to hold our local governments, if we begin to hold governments at the grassroots level responsible, we hold them by their khaki, we hold them by their, you get it now. They will wake up, they will do what they ought to do. But this is a welcome development. Government devised new strategies to keep LGs under control. Not just under control, but they should be held responsible. They should be. Virtually everyone agrees that governance at the grassroots level is critical to the is crucial to the authoritative allocation, accountable, that's the word, accountable. Government at the grass level must be held accountable, not just under control. They must be held accountable. All right, so virtually everyone agrees that governance at the grassroots level is critical to the authoritative allocation of values in any civilized society, given its proximity to the people. Scholars and stakeholders of local governments administration have been consistent in their advocacy for autonomy for the third tier of government. Since the return to the democratic mode of governance in 1999, Nigerian governors have practically demonstrated little or no official eagerness to allow democracy to play out at the grassroots level. That is another angle, and that's another angle in this discussion. With the possible exception of a few, Nigerian governors see the threats local government areas as personal fiefdoms. Without a doubt, the nation's extant law is partially to blame for this, while vesting the powers to conduct presidential, National Assembly, and governorship elections on the Independent National Electoral Commission. The Constitution does not accord local government council the status of a tier of government, leaving elections into chairmanship and councillorship seats to the selfish mechanizations of those all-powerful governors. It is time. Yes, in as much as the local government, in as much as governance at the grassroots level needs autonomy, we also need to also hold them accountable if they are not doing what they ought to do. Your opinion, your take on any of the stories that I have presented to you so far is welcome. Remember, you can do that via the comment section, either live on Facebook or YouTube. You can send in a voice note on WhatsApp. You can put a call through. You can also drop a message expressing yourself, your opinion, your take on any of the stories that have been presented to you so far. Pressure mounts on Naira, falls to 1,740 Naira in parallel market, from the Vanguard newspaper. Data from the FMDQ showed that the Indicative exchange rate for NIFAM fell to 1,600 naira per dollar from 1,601.2 per dollar on Thursday, indicating 1.2 appreciation of the naira. Dealers who spoke to Financial Vanguard at the weekend said they expect the exchange rate to close this month around 1,750 naira per dollar, while 2024 may end at over 1,800 naira per dollar. If this trend continues by the end of the year, the local currency will have wiped out the gains it made in March this year, when it suddenly appreciated massively, climbing down from an all-time high rate of 1,820 naira per dollar in February 2024 to 1,310 naira per dollar, and further down to 1,240 naira per dollar. However, the appreciation was halted in April. Subsequently, depreciation began and sustained until last week. Year on year, naira depreciated in the parallel market by 70.5% to 1,705 naira per dollar at the close of the third quarter, trading on September 30, 2024, from an average of 1,000 naira per dollar in September 2023. Year to date, depreciated by 16.7% from 1,490 naira per dollar in January 2024. The naira recorded a massive 104% year-on-year depreciation in the official segment NAFEM to 1,540.78 naira per dollar in September 2024 from 755.27 in September 2023. However, year-on-year NAFEM has recorded just 9.9% depreciation to 1,600 naira per dollar last weekend from 1,455 naira. 1,455.9 naira per dollar in January 2024. We move on to the very next blackout. Businesses, others suffer setback nationwide. Still on Vanguard. Businesses and other activities have grounded nationwide due to prolonged outages, leading to economic losses and suffering of citizens. Data obtained from the Nigerian Electricity System Operator yesterday indicated that as of 6 a.m. yesterday, the nation's generation was 3,752.37 megawatts. It was gathered, remains grossly inadequate for transmission and distribution to households and businesses that also find it difficult to pay for alternative energy sources, especially petrol and diesel, whose prices have risen to more than 1,000 naira per litre. Checks by Vanguard indicated the most part of Nigeria, which has suffered its 8th national grid collapse this year, were in darkness yesterday. Director General of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, Dr. Chinyere Almona, told Vanguard yesterday LCCI is deeply concerned about the frequency of collapse recorded by the national grid, the sole supply source of hydroelectric power nationwide. All right. Okay. All right. So, give me situation reports when it comes to situation reports in your environment. What's the light situation reports from your end? Let's talk about it this morning. What's the light situation reports from your end? Are you enjoying 24 hours, 12 hours, 1 hour? What is the light situation report from your end? I would love to hear from you. Let's talk about it. And that is why it's called Table Talk. We talk. All we do here is to talk. Call me talkative. Families hurting from high prices. IMF. Family hurting from high prices. Families are hurting from high prices. The managing director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, Ms. Kristalina Georgieva, said yesterday at the ongoing annual meeting of the IMF World Bank in Washington, D.C. Speaking at the Global Policy Agenda 2024 briefing, the MD said that the global economy was faced with being stuck on the path of slow growth and high debt. Her words, the global economy has helped us well. Inflation has continued to decline thanks to the concerted efforts of central banks and thanks to the ease of chain supply performance. But people are not feeling good about the economic prospects of their economies. Everybody I asked, how is your economy? The answer is good. How is the mood of your people? The answer is not so good. Families are still hurting from high price and global growth is anemic. We expect the global economy to grow by 3.2% this year and slow to 3.1% annual growth in 5 years. Trade is not more a powerful engine of growth. We live in a more fragile world. The bottom line is global economy is getting stuck in danger of lower growth and high debt paths, lower incomes and fewer jobs, lower government incomes and lower resource to support families and lower income to support funding of climate change. But as a matter of fact, when men say there is a casting down, what shall we say? For me and my family, there is a lifting up. Somebody shout hallelujah. All right, let's move to the very next story. Tinubu